Right, guys. I'm here with Simon Jenkins. We've had a little catch up just before this, and now we're live in the group for you guys. The reason I'm doing this is I think it's really important to do a before and after. When you see before and afters, you don't always get the true picture of what happens after a client finishes a program or finishes working with a coach. So I think what I like to do is a before and after, see how the client's getting on after they finish working with me. So just going to go through some questions and get some of Simon's thoughts really. And we're just going to have a really awesome catch up of his experience in the program and since finishing. It was about 9 weeks ago we worked out that Simon finished. So let's get into it. All right. So Simon, yeah, I've got some questions. Let's go. So where would you say you were before we started working together?
Tired. I just got into a real lazy sort of routine of just eating what I wanted when I wanted. Knew I was just unfit and just not, but I just sort of, I wouldn't say I'd given up, but I got to an age where I was just like, well, it's a bit difficult now, and I just went. But then I knew, that I really had to sort myself out, and so I was just uncomfortable and fat and lazy and just unmotivated, and I mean, generally everything else was fine, but I was just like, health-wise, I just wasn't doing it, and just wasn't and just eating really bad habits of eating late at night particularly, which never helps.
All right, and just remind me, I remember on one of our calls that you were saying I sort of got to a stage where I was saying to myself it's like an age thing and it's this, and like kind of convincing yourself that you couldn't get to where you wanted to get to, or maybe I just accept this is where I am now because it's an age, or tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, I just it was just an excuse really. I was just procrastinating and making excuses and just coming up with anything that I could that would fit in with that, so that I didn't have to do any hard work sort of thing. But you can only do that for so long, and then you know in the back of your mind that actually you need to step up. So that's a lame excuse.
All right. I actually can't remember how much you lost. So just remind me, what was it, like 22 or was it 24 pounds in 12 weeks?
Do you know, I'm not sure because I don't work in pounds, but I think it was about 24. It was something like that. So
I'm pretty sure it's 24. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I started at 15 and a half and I finished at 14, just under 14 or something like that. I'm not sure. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's 24. I'm pretty sure it's 24 pounds. Just going back to like before we started, did you think you was going to lose 24 pounds in the 12-week program?
No, I wasn't focused on that really, because I wanted to, I know I've done it before, I've lost a lot of weight before, but that wasn't the main thing for me. It was about sustainability and just because I've my weight's sort of gone up and down quite over a number of years, so I knew that if I sort of made a concerted effort I could lose weight, but that it was a lot of effort, and it was just like and then you put it back on. It was just like a constant cycle. So I knew I could lose weight if I wanted to, but it was the way that I did it and the mindset and just the sort of small changes that was kind of remarkable really, that I was still able to make the changes, like just the small changes over a period of time. It was great. Without sort of, I mean, like when I'd done it before, I really hit the gym hard, whereas I never went to the gym at all. I worked out occasionally, but it was more stuff. It was resistance training and a bit of HIIT and stuff like that, but tried a bit of running, but nothing. I wasn't like really working out massively. Whereas when I've lost weight before, I've just gone right, and I've hit the gym like, you know, almost every day sometimes, and had like a sort of really sort of short target of saying, doing it in, you know, as quickly as I possibly can, and then and then giving up once I've reached my target, just saying, right, that's it now. And then of course the inevitable happens.
Sorry, just say that again. You worked out occasionally and you lost 24 pounds in 12 weeks.
Yeah. I ate pizza. I ate chocolate. Yeah. Try to think what else I did. I think you said I ate ice cream. I didn't eat ice cream, but I could have done. So yeah, it was remarkable, really. But it's all about accountability, isn't it? It's all about, you know, the mindset and just saying, right, you know, well, I'm going to track everything, and I'm going to have a calorie deficit. I'm going to be accountable for what I eat and think about it.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think that's the key at the beginning. I think you come into the program, and obviously I keep you accountable, but I think after a few weeks, I often hear this from a client as well, and you probably felt the same. You start to keep yourself accountable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think they say, you know, if you do something every day for 28, 30 days, then it'll be a habit then, and you'll just do it without thinking.
Yeah, nice.
And that's what I do now.
That actually goes on to the next question quite well, actually. Why do you think you had the success you had?
I just followed what you'd said, and I just got into the habits of, you know, the good habits, changing little things. And once you see that success, you get into a different mindset. You're just like, well, I can see in the mirror, I'm a much leaner person now. I'm not in that mindset of like sort of not wanting to look in the mirror, not, you know, and thinking, oh, you know, just yeah, just following simple steps, really. And account, yes, like I say, accountability, making yourself accountable by tracking. You know, when I started, I think I said to you, I really don't want to track my food because I hate doing it. It's a pain in the ass. I just find it a real nose. And you know, it's like eating's not, it shouldn't become something where you know, you're doing that. It's just like, I just want to eat. Just let me just get on with it. But I started it, and it was just like, yeah, this is quite interesting. And then it was just like, well, this is accountability. This is really important. And I realized from doing it how important it was to look at it. And now I quite into it. I like to do it because I like to see, you know, I mark things in red and green as to when I've met it and when I haven't met it, and then I can look back and say, right, actually that's too high, or that's not, and that's why that is, and all the rest of it. I'm tracking like sugar content as well as fat and calories and protein and all the rest of it, and salt content as well. That's quite a big one because you don't realize how much salt is in quite a lot of stuff. So I just find it interesting now, and I'm just in the habit of doing it. And if I don't want to do it, and I didn't do it at Christmas, you know, I don't have to. So, yeah, and it's nice. It's like you said as well. It's like tracking, although, you know, you need to be as accurate as you possibly can. It's important, but, you know, tracking at all is better than no tracking. You know, just tracking most of your stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's so interesting as well, because anyone who's watched this one that we're doing now, and obviously will watch Jose's and Mark's, they all mention about the tracking of the food, and they all mention that I thought it would be a pain in the ass, and I didn't really want to do it. But for me, it was one of the keys to the success that you had and those guys had as well.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
What gets measured gets managed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, what we got next? Right, so I think lots of people can have success in weight loss. We see it like, you know, pretty often. Why do you think that you've had the success that you had, you know, initially when we worked together? It's now 9 weeks, you know, on your own. what is it that's made you continue to have the success that you continue to have? You haven't put the weight back on and gone backwards. That's quite a long way of going about that question.
Yeah, I've just carried on doing what I was doing. I mean, I believed in what I was doing because it was getting results, and it's sustainable. It's not, I don't get up at 6 a.m. and work out, which is what I've done in the past. I just do what I need to do, and I get that calorie deficit, work out as much as when I can, if I can, but don't beat myself up if I don't. And if I go over, it's not the end of the world. It's just a question of keeping on track all the time. And occasionally you will go off track, but you just got to reset every now and again. And so I've just carried on doing what I was doing before, really. Tracking is vital to getting that calorie deficit, and seeing, so like I get to say 1,500 calories and I'll go, well, I'm not eating now. But if I go over, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, just carried on doing the little things, drinking loads of water, absolutely tons of water, and yeah, exercising when I want, and doing exercise that I like. Obviously, yeah, because we're on lockdown, you're not going to restaurants, so that's obviously helped.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, I think one of the keys is, yeah, like you say, you can go off track a little bit. But I think the key is, like, if you imagine you have tracks like this, and if you're on track, you're like this. But if you go off, you just go off slightly, and then as quick as you can, you go straight back on.
Yeah.
I think where a lot of people maybe fail is they go so much off track.
Yeah.
It's then really difficult to get back on track.
Yeah.
And then it's that feeling of, I knew I shouldn't have done that. I've done too much. And then that leads to the next day. And then it's that cycle of, I'll start again Monday. Yeah.
And I think if you don't measure, if you go so far off track, it probably means you're not measuring. Because if you don't measure, then you could easily go off and just go, well, I don't know where I'm at now, but I'll just carry on. So,
yeah, I'm off track now. I might as well just carry on.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas if you were tracking, it might not even be that bad, and you just kind of have a bit of an acceptance. All right, yeah, it was a bit more than I thought. Okay.
Yeah. And often it's often never as bad as you think either, because you do that exercise where you say, right, this week I just want you to eat anything, like your favorite food, anything at all, and you just think, oh, is this a test? And that's not going to work, and you do it, and you think, well, actually, yeah, you can do it if you want to, just don't do it all the time.
I tell people my secrets.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm joking. Just that week, I think you lost 2 pounds as well, didn't you? Or mate, it might even be 3. I think it was one of the really good weeks.
Yeah, well, the thing is, my favourite food is a bit weird, because it's not like Kentucky Fried Chicken or McDonald's. It's peanut butter and jam sandwich. So and I had that as a meal basically that day, and because it is like 500 something calories, and yeah, that's probably why it wasn't like a big massive meal that I had. But I do love, and I used to eat peanut butter and jam sandwiches at like 8-9 o'clock at night pretty much every day, which never helps.
Nah, that's not going to help.
No.
All right. I think lots of people get concerns that certain processes or certain programs or coaches or whatever that looks like might not work for them. People have an idea of, yeah, but I've got this or I've got this, and of course they have their own concerns. But do you think my program, the Lean Project, and my coaching, I guess, technique and service, do you think it would work for anyone?
Yeah, I think so, because it's flexible, isn't it? You keep it flexible so that you I mean, you knew, for example, with me, that tracking wants something that you were just going to jump straight in with, because I'd already said that that's not really something I wanted to do. And an exercise and various bits and pieces. It was just kept, you know, very slow and just at your pace, and you're in control of it. And if it's something you don't like, you can change it. So yeah, it's good that way. It makes it very flexible. But you still get to the place you need to get to, because you've got those other things, which is more about mindset. It's more about personal motivations and stuff like that. And everyone's got those, and everyone can do that. So yeah, I can't see why it wouldn't work.
I think what I like to do, to be honest, and this is what one of my clients, he had his end of 12-week review with Mike, you know, coach that done yours, and he said, what I really like about Michael's style was, and I don't know if it's for everyone, but he gave me a lot of freedom. And that's what I like to do, because I think unless you give a client that amount of freedom, then what happens after the program? You know, I don't want my clients to feel like they've relied on me through the 12 weeks. Like, I'm there for guidance and support and accountability, but I want all my clients to have the freedom to make their own choices.
Yeah,
because then you've got much more chance of having success afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And some people do like to have that prescriptive kind of leadership, and they want to be told what to do. This is how you do it. This is, you know, etc. And that's, you know, some people are like that, and I'm sure you suss that out pretty quickly. But the more you do that, the less likely you are to be able to sustain it afterwards, because you haven't got somebody there all the time, unless you want to pay for a coach all the time. But you know, you're not going to be able to have somebody telling you exactly what to do all the time. You've got to work out what works for you.
100%. All right, what we got next? Yeah, this actually follows on quite well. There might be some people watching this that are just sitting on the fence and unsure whether to reach out. And look, let's be honest, people do that for a long time sometimes, like 6 months, a year. I did it when I reached out to my first coach. I was following his stuff for a little while. So what would you say to someone that's just on the fence at the moment, just thinking about doing it? Sorry, yeah, go on.
Just do it, because you just won't regret it. I can't see any way that you can fail, really. Everyone should have a coach. It's just really worthwhile. It's for me, and I think I've heard this from other people, it's a bit of a sliding doors moment, isn't it? It's one of those where you kind of like, you know, you can carry on just doing what you're doing, going down a certain route, which is unhealthy, or you can actually get back into a better place and make it a sustainable place as well. And that's the key, because I've done, you know, like you said before, fad diets and all that kind of stuff. I've done stuff like that, and it's just up and down, whereas this is much more about what works longer term, and that's kind of priceless, really. So yeah, I would advise anybody just to do it, because you can do it. Anybody can do it.
Nice. All right, so we've got some questions from the group. I always put it out into the group just because I think it's good for the potential, you know, people in my group just to ask some questions. So how have you managed the positive comments from people after the program when they've seen your transformation? Might not be so easy, we've been in lockdown, but
yeah, what positive comments? I don't see anybody. It's obviously nice, but you don't get carried away. It's just like it's good. I don't know how do you manage these things. You just got to say thank you whenever you get compliments. You know, you got to be appreciative, I think, with all these things. But yeah, it's not been overwhelming because of lockdown. I'm not I'm not seeing people. It's in a way, it's not a bad thing, because, like, you know, I'll keep it going. I just keep it going until I see people again, and then I'll stop.
You won't. All right. How did you keep up with what you learned through the coaching program?
How did I keep up with it?
Yeah, so obviously I think you go through the program and you learn a lot about yourself, you learn a lot about nutrition, what works, what doesn't work. How did you just yeah, keep up with what you learned through the program?
I just, you know, there's certain things that just kind of appeal to you that you go, ah, yeah, no, that makes sense, and you kind of know instinctively when things are working and when things are right. So you just, you know, I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? You don't have to remember a lot of stuff. It's just getting the basics right is the first thing, isn't it? Calorie deficits is like, you know, that's the thing, and like tracking and measurements are really important. Water, everybody knows they should be drinking water, but you know, it doesn't taste as nice as, you know, other things. But once you start doing it, it's just habit. So I think I can't remember who said it, but I'm sure there's somebody who's said in the past that if you can do something for 30 days, you'll do it forever. You know, I don't know if it's like Tony Robbins or somebody who talks about that, and it's very true. If you do something, it becomes a habit. So it's just getting those good habits, really. That's easy.
All right, it makes sense. So it's more like, you know, all the things that you've learned and you absorb it, and then it's a case of the more you put those things into practice,
yeah,
they just become habits, and
yeah,
hopefully it becomes second nature. Because that's what I kind of say on our week one. You know, we do 2 to 3 changes. Hopefully they become habits, they become lifestyle changes, and they're what going to give you, you know, continued success.
Yeah, sure.
All right, what we got next? Oh, this is a good one, actually. So I know with like clients, when they see someone's like weight loss, you know, they see the transformation, they often ask, oh, what diet have you been doing, or what have you been doing? So if anyone asks you, like, you know, what diet you've been doing or what have you been doing to lose the weight, what would you say?
I just cut out some of the stuff that I knew instinctively I shouldn't have been doing anyway. But I haven't given up things. I haven't, I still have chocolate. I don't have it very often. I'll have it probably maybe not even once a week, but there's certain things I miss, but like the only thing I can think of that I've sort of given up now that I would have had a lot of before is butter, margarine and butter, because when you put it in to your fitness pal, it's just like, it just goes through the roof, and you think, what, just for a little bit of butter? And you just think, well, I'm just gonna have to live without that. And I stopped eating bread quite so much, but apart from that, I'm pretty much doing the same. I mean, I'm vegetarian, so that, I don't know, that probably helps me. I certainly feel that it does, but so no, not many changes at all with diet. Eating at the right time is important. You know, not eating late at night. That was one of my things. I mean, not eating just all the time when I wanted to because I was bored or whatever, or just picking at stuff. And you know, but if you're tracking, then you're less likely to do that. So yeah, diet not really changed that much, not massively anyway.
I think the reason I think that's an important question to go over and why it's come from the group is that people always think, like, the word diet normally strikes fear into everyone, doesn't it, to be honest, right? Yeah. So I think if you see someone like 24 pounds in 12 weeks is like a really good weight loss, right? So people always go, yeah, but you must have been on that strict diet, or you must have been training like all the time, but it just wasn't really the case, right?
No, I really wasn't. I did work out probably more, you know, since I've finished. I must admit, I'm not working out as much as I was before, just because of time and work and stuff like that. But I still do a little bit. So, but it's not about working out, is it? It's very much about what you eat, and if there's one key thing, as I say, I think it's that measuring. Yeah.
All right. So I think this is an awesome question. So looking back, so if you could look back and speak to you before starting the program, what would you say to yourself?
Sort yourself out, son. Dear me. I'd say, you know, if you carry on like this, you're you know, you're not going to live as long. You're not going to be able to enjoy your kids quite as so long. But you never know, do you? But it's just chalk and cheese, you know, looking back. So yeah, and I'd say, you know, you definitely need a coach.
By the way, guys, I haven't paid Simon to say any of these things. We're having a chat, and if he says nice things, then that's great. But yeah, there's no money gets exchanged after or before this call. All right. How do you feel looking back now, having taken that step to invest in yourself?
Yeah, and that's what it is. It is investing in yourself. It's I mean, I must admit, when I first thought about how much it was, I was like, oh, that seems a lot. And but when you start breaking it down, and then you start thinking about the actual effects and what they're worth, and all the rest of it, it's really quite, well, it's very good value to me, because you really can't put a price on that sliding doors thing, you know, that moment of changing from one mindset to another, and something that's gonna hopefully last forever. So yeah, can't remember the question now, but I think I answered it.
Yeah, it's just how did you feel, you know, making that step to invest in yourself? And I think what's nice as well sometimes, and this has probably happened to you, sometimes you reflect on things that may have been a struggle like 6 months ago, and you try them 6 months later and they just become that a bit easier. You have these thoughts of like, do you know what, that used to be a struggle for me, whether that's exercise or how you felt, like, I don't know, like we can't have nights out now, but like how you feel on a night out or in work situations, like just that difference in confidence. And that, a lot of that comes from, like, you know, changes in mindset, and you go, yeah, actually, you know what, there is some real big differences that you sometimes you don't even notice at the time. You still do you get that now? Still get some sort of like breakthroughs now?
No, not really. I mean, I'm more, well, I'm still like a work in progress, you know. I'm still, and I think that's important. I think you always, you know, you always should be striving for the next thing. But yeah, I don't I can't remember what I was going to say now. I don't have massive breakthroughs, but I'm like just in a different mindset, really. So yeah,
That's a breakthrough in itself.
well, yeah, that is, isn't it? Yeah. So
all right, last one. I know you tried stuff before, and you said, you know, when you've lost weight before, you just smashed it in the gym. What are some of the other things that you've tried? Had you tried anything else except like smashing it in the gym? Had you tried any other stuff in the past for the weight loss?
I've done like I think I did 2 12-week programs, which were really good, but they were like group things where you went to, like, once a week you went to did like a HIIT session with a group, and then you also did a classroom bit, and you did measuring and all the rest of it, and it was great whilst it was on for those 12 weeks. But I was left thinking, I really want to do this again. I was kind of like contacting the guy and saying, oh, you know, you're going to do another one, because you know, because, so that was great, but it didn't work outside of those 12 weeks. And other than that, I've just, you know, when I've done it myself off my own back, I've just said, right, I'm just gonna have to be like almost like Stalin-esque. I'm gonna have to just say, right, I'm gonna cut off everything that I like. I'm gonna have to, you know, not drink at all. I'm just gonna have to do, you know, and I've just really hit it really hard, because I like to get results quite quickly, as most people do. And yeah, so that was completely unsustainable to do it that way. But I just didn't want to, you know, I just didn't want to sort of drag it out. I didn't want to do a slow thing. I just wanted to go and do it. and that was great. And I've lost, you know, quite a lot of weight doing it that way, but it isn't sustainable. It's not realistic at all. So whereas this is much more about, you still get the results, but it's much more about longer term.
All right, nice. Last question. So how confident are you, because I know you're not quite at your target yet, it's something you want to work towards. You said, you know, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
But if we put it on a scale of like 1 to 100, 1, I just don't think I can get there. 100%, I'm 100% confident of getting, because I know you want to get to a healthy BMI. Where would you put your confidence that you can get to the healthy BMI?
100. Absolutely 100% certain. No question whatsoever. I can do it. And I will. And it's you know, it's all because, and the thing is, I can back that up by the statistics, what's written down. I can see where it's going, and you know, I just got to continue doing what I'm doing. So yeah, there's absolutely no reason why I shouldn't be. Obviously, you never know what's around the corner, but yeah, I don't have any question at all that I can achieve what I want to.
How does it feel saying that? 100% confidence of getting to a healthy BMI?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's just like being shown the, you know, having a door open and going, right, this is now the right, this is the way that you need to go. And it's like, right, okay, yeah. It's that light bulb moment, isn't it? So yeah, it's great.
All right, awesome. So that is the last questions. Is there anything that you wanted to like ask me or go over before I sort of like wrap up, or anything that I didn't cover that you wanted to go over? Sometimes there's certain things that you maybe sometimes you wish you said or go over. Is there anything you wanted to add at all?
No, I don't think so. No, it's all good.
We'll chat quickly after this as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why you support Portsmouth, I don't know, but I suppose
me and Simon used to like to have,
I guess.
Yeah, me and Simon used to like to have a little bit of football banter. He's a Leeds fan, I'm a Pompey fan. We're literally leagues apart at the moment. But,
yeah,
it's a good bit of banter. Right, guys. So hopefully you found that really valuable. I think it's a really powerful thing to do a before and after, and just get a real in-depth account of like what's happened afterwards, and also during the program, Simon's takeaways, what he, you know, done to achieve the success. And I do these things because I like to be honest and transparent with how I work and do things. So it's just an unedited conversation with a former client. So I really hope you found that valuable, guys. All right, let's stop the recording.